Welcome back to World Change Production. Today we will be checking on the western section of Hanover in our series of Life in Jamaica after Hurricane Melissa. We will start our tour at the Great River community, which is named after Great River, and end our tour at Chigwell, where the water is rising dangerously and has already covered several houses, farms, and businesses in the area. The Great River forms a natural border between St. James to the east and Hanover to the west at the bridge in the Great River community. Great River is one of Jamaica's major rivers and forms the boundary of the parish of St. James with Westmoreland and Hanover. It reaches the Caribbean Sea at Great River Bay, 4.5 miles west of Montego Bay. It is one of the three most popular rivers for traditional rafting, bamboo raft. It is a very scenic location, and many locals have set up tourist attraction businesses along the side of the river. Here we are taking a lovely view of the Great River flowing into the sea at Great River Bay. We are now taking a walk from St. James to Hanover on the Great River Bridge. We are now on the other side of the bridge, so we are now entering into Hanover and going toward the community of Hopewell. Before we continue our journey to Chigwell, let us take a small tour of the Great River community. This river is one of the major sources of water for the city of Montego Bay. Please pay attention to roofs on the houses in the video. You will notice that many of them have on blue tarpaulin on them. These are temporary covering until homeowners can replace roof with proper material. We will be taking a look on homes in different areas that have lost their roof at the end of the video. Here we can see a number of rafts with rafters and passengers coming downstream toward the Great River Bay. Some of the businesses were damaged during Hurricane Melissa, So they are now being repaired by the owners in the Great River area. A locally made Jamaican fishing boat called King Fiber speeding out to sea in the Great River Bay area. Let us now go inside the Great River District and get a close-up look on the Great River. This is a dammed up area of the river where water is pumped from to majority of St. James and the surrounding area. This area of the Great River was greatly affected by the landfall of the Category 5 Hurricane Melissa, and major pipes were broken, which led to most of the city and surrounding areas not having water for over 3 weeks. According to Wikipedia, the Great River rises about 1,400 feet just north of the small village of Pisca in the northwest corner of St. Elizabeth. From there it flows north-northeast for about 57 miles, reaching the Caribbean Sea at Great River Bay on the island's north coast, 4.5 miles west of Montego Bay. Although the trees are getting green again, if we look closely we can see how high the water was flowing and the effect of the strong wind on the trees. Looking carefully, we can see the trees are very brown and stripped from the wind, while the water flow had them bending forward. This is the pumping station of the Great River plant. As we move further downstream of the Great River, we can see the damaging effect of Hurricane Melissa on the trees and also the plant itself, and we can see rubbles along the bank of the river. You can see broken trees along the bank of the river. So here we are taking a good look at the pumping station at Great River. Here we can see some more evidence of the destructive force of Hurricane Melissa. We can see here some solar panels that have been damaged and also some other equipment from the pumping station at Great River. We are approximately 2 miles up from the bridge. Most of the communities live and do business around the area of the bridge. We will now make our way over to the Opal community and then to Chigwell. Opal is a settlement and fishing village in the parish of Hanover, Jamaica, located 15 kilometers or 9.3 miles from Montego Bay. It is the location of Roundel Hotel and Villa. The main road leading from Montego Bay to Chigwell passes through this little village. There are a lot of small businesses that are operated in this small community, and the community is a very dynamic one. So we're gonna stop here for just about 5 minutes to do a little tour of Hopewell. As we can see, it's a very busy place. There's a lot of hustling and bustling going on. It seems as it was not directly hit by Hurricane Melissa, as we did not see a lot of damages to the building here. To get from Opal to Chigwell, we make the first left turn as we enter into the community of Hopewell onto Bamboo Drive. Then from Bamboo Drive, that takes us to Bamboo, and then from Bamboo we went to Car Town, Friendship Grove, and then to Old Pen. From Old Pen to Chigwell, the normal route would be the Old Pen Road. However, because of Hurricane Melissa, the road was now flooded, and the water was very high. Nobody could drive on that or walk in that area to get to that area. You would actually be taking raft or boats to get across to Chigwell. So let us now go over to Old Pen and see what's happening over there. So after approximately 40 minutes driving through some very scenic and rural communities, but with some narrow and sometimes bad road, we arrive at Old Pen. This may look like a lake, but it is not. It is actually the water rising after Hurricane Melissa, covering the Old Pen Road and forming communities in this area. Small boats that the community members use to get to their homes and to the other side of Chigwell. So this is the Old Pen Road that leads to Chigwell, but here is as far as you can get, as most of the road is covered underwater. So now, since this road is totally underwater, we have to find another route to drive to Chigwell. So we are going to take an alternate route toward Cold Spring, and then from there, I heard it is easier to get down into the community of Chigwell, so we can see the houses on the water there. So let us now make our way down to Cold Spring and then to Chigwell. So after making it through several communities and some very bad, windy and small road, having to stop and ask the local along the way several times as there was no GPS reading in the area. We are now viewing the community of Chigwell from the top of a hill overlooking the area. This is a point in Chigwell that the old Penn Road would have taken us had we not needed an alternate route. It took us approximately 40 minutes to get here. It definitely would have taken less time if the road was not flooded with water. So here we can see houses flooded with water. We can see farms covered with water. So definitely it's a disaster here. At this moment, I am not seeing the residents of the area, but I'm seeing the chickens in their coops and farm animal around the area. It seems like the residents of the area are vacated to higher ground until the water recedes. Now we are going to move further up in the community of Chigwell and closer to some of the houses that are actually in the rising water. Here we can see two of the locals from the area paddling a raft that the residents of the area used to go to and from the rising water here at Chigwell. Yeah man, no problem. I find my way. Now I am on my way back from Chigwell using another road that is a little bit better, and we have some beautiful view of the ocean coming closer to the Trial Hotel from the Cold Spring area. Here I am getting a lovely view of the coast of Montego Bay across the ocean in an area about half a mile going toward the Great River Bridge coming from the trial area. Here we can see a very big cruise ship at the cruise ship harbor in Montego Bay Freeport. From this point until the end of the video, we'll be checking on a couple of communities that have lost their roofs and are using tarpaulin as temporary roof until they can replace their roof. We can identify this tarpaulin or the temporary roof mainly by the color. Most of the roofs are replaced by a blue plastic looking material. There are some that have black or can be also red, but majority of the roofs are being replaced temporarily with blue tarpaulin. The area that we are looking at now is the Great River area. This is where you have more affluent people living with a lot of nice houses, but they too have lost their roofs. Here is a perfect example of a home with a temporary roof using the tarpaulin. This home is located in the Reading area, maybe just a mile or so from Great River, going toward Hopewell. We are now at the Bogue area and we can see that a lot of house roofs were blown off here. We are now at Westgate Hills, a very nice residential area with a lot of affluent people living here. A lot of roofs were also blown off here during the passage of Hurricane Melissa. Taking a scan of areas such as Westgate Hills and Salem that have lost their roof during the passage of Hurricane Melissa. Now we're at a section of Cornwall Courts where a lot of houses have lost their roof and are using the tarpaulin as temporary roof until they replace the roof with the real material. This video has highlighted that in the western region, a lot of persons are struggling to return to some form of normalcy. Some have lost their home to rising water, some their roofs are damaged, and they are living with temporary roofs. The churches have also lost their roofs. The difference, though, is that in the city and the surrounding, majority of residents have received electricity, water, and internet. So life is getting a little bit easier. In the rural area, light, water, and internet are lacking, and the residents are facing more difficulty and need help. Small New Testament church in Cornwall Courts that was totally demolished during the passage of Hurricane Melissa. Thanks for viewing my video. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment.